What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yejude, and if it's your first time stopping by, you are most definitely welcome. So on today's episode, I'm going to be showing you guys how to draft a basic bodice pattern. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So these are the body measurements you are going to be needing for this basic bodice pattern. You need your bust line measurement and also your bust circumference measurement. You also need your nipple to nipple measurement. You need your waistline measurement and also your waist circumference, as well as your hip line and also hip circumference. So now, guys, these are the materials I'm going to be using. I need my pattern paper, my straight ruler, my hip curve, and also my armhole curve. So now, getting started, the first thing I'm going to be marking on this pattern paper is my bust line, which is 10 inches. Mind you, guys, this paper is on fold from the center. After marking the bust line, I'm going to go ahead now to mark my waistline. The waistline I'm working with is 16 inches. Then I'll also go ahead now to mark the hip line, which is 24 inches. So now, guys, how to get your hip line from your waistline? You just mark 8 inches away from your waistline. That is how to get your hip line. So now, guys, I'm going to be taking my bust circumference on my bust line. My bust is 34 divided by 4, so I just went ahead now to mark 8.5 inches. Then my waist, the waist I'm working with is 28 divided by 4, that is 7 inches. So I'm going to mark 7 inches on my waistline, and I'm also going to add 1 inch. This is going to serve as our dart allowance later. Add 1 inch on your waistline after your waist measurement. Then same thing as the hip measurement, I divided the hip by 4 and I marked 10 inches. My hip is 40 divided by 4, that is 10 inches. So now what I'm doing right now is just to extend my measurement lines. You can see what I'm doing, my bust circumference, my waist, and also my hip. So I'm gonna ahead now to mark them out, and I'm just going to connect them by the sides with my straight ruler, like so. So now, guys, I'm also going to be using my hip curve to define the waist area and also the hip area. You know, those parts are not straight, and I'm going to go ahead to label this also for easy identification. You can see my bust line, waistline, and also my hip line. So now, guys, the next thing I'm going to mark is my shoulder measurement. I'm going to divide the shoulder into 2 and mark that. The shoulder is 14 divided by 2, that is 7, and I'm going to come down by 1 inch from there. This is going to act as my shoulder slope. So now I'm going to mark 3 inches, which is a basic neck wideness, and I'm going to connect that to my shoulder slope. I'm also going to mark 3 inches like so. This is going to serve as the neck depth. This is a standard neck depth. So for your neck measurement, you want to use 3 inches as your wideness and 3 inches as your depth, and I'm just going to connect them by each other. So now, guys, to get my armhole length, I'm going to divide my bust circumference by 6, and I'm going to add 1.5 inches to that. My bust is 36 divided by 6, and when I divided that and added 1.5, I got about 7 inches, and I extended this part by 2 inches, you can see, so that it can meet my bust measurement. So I'll just connect that to the bust line like so, and I'm going to extend this new line. This is going to be my chest line. So, guys, to also get your armhole, you can just come up by 2 inches from your bust line and mark that. That can serve as your armhole length. You can see from my bust line to my chest line, you can see it is 2 inches, and this my armhole is 7 inches. So, guys, I'll just get the middle of my armhole. I'm gonna head to mark 3.5, and I went in by half of an inch. You know, you want to make a little curve, you want to make your armhole shallow, because this is the front basic bodice. So, guys, I've gone ahead to connect that with my armhole curve, and this is my center front. So now, guys, it is time to take the dart. I'm going to come to my waistline and mark my nipple to nipple measurement here. It is 3.5 inches, and I'm going to mark half of an inch at both sides of this nipple to nipple measurement. I'll also mark the nipple to nipple measurement on my bust line. I'm going to mark 3.5 inches on my bust line. Then, guys, from my waistline, I'm going to also mark 3.5 inches, which is my nipple to nipple measurement, and from here I'm going to come up by 2 inches. I'll just mark this. This is because my dart line is not going to get to the hip line. So now, guys, I'll just connect this point from my bust line to my waistline and also to these 2 inches I've marked above my hip line. So I'm just going to connect all 3 points together like so. I'm going to be connecting the middle point first. Then from my bust line, I'll come down and mark 1 inch. So I'm going to be connecting my dart line from this 1 inch I've marked below the bust line. I'll connect this to this and also to this last point. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. So let's go ahead to do that now. So guys, this pattern paper is unfold from center. This is the chest line, the bust line, the waistline, and also the hip line. Then the dart in the middle. Then the neck is 3 by 3 inches. Then the armhole, I've told you how to get your armhole measurement. So guys, I'm done with the front pattern. I'm just going to go ahead now to cut this out. You can notice that I didn't add any sewing allowance to this patterns. This is because I want to use this as a basic pattern, just like the title of this video says, you know, so that I can always alter it later to, you know, make different garments like tops, you know, and the likes. So now guys, I'm just going to place this front pattern on another piece of pattern paper so I can cut my back pattern. So I'll just tape this down with my paper tape or my cello tape like so, and I'm going to come to the neck area. The neck depth for the back is going to be 2 inches and not 3 inches, and I'm just going to connect this to the neck wideness like so. Then I'll also rule out this center front. I'm going to be tracing this out also on this back pattern paper. I'll just draw a straight line like so. And also for the armhole for the back, the armhole is not going to be shallow like the front. You know why the front pattern armhole is shallow is because so that it can accommodate the fullness of the breast by the side. So guys, I am done with this. I am just going to cut this out. I am going to trace this front pattern on my back pattern paper like so. And for this neck depth, you want to make sure your neck wideness is the same thing. So that is what I'm doing on this back pattern. I'll also go ahead to cut the shoulder slope, and I'll carefully cut the armhole part also. So now guys, I'll just transfer the measurement I have on my front pattern to my back pattern. I'll just go ahead to do that now. So guys, you can see I've transferred my measurement also to my back pattern. The only difference I have here is you can see my dart line started from a little bit below the chest area, and I'll show you how I did this. So when marking my measurement on the back pattern, I just came in on my chest line by my nipple to nipple measurement, and I came down by 1 inch from there, and I extended the bust line measurement I have to this chest line area. So that is how I extended my back dart. So we've come to the end of our tutorial guys. Please don't forget to like this video and also subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to see you all in my next video. Bye.